This episode of Hawk Talk is brought to you by Charbonneau Car Center and Dacotah Bank.
Hi, and welcome back to this week's edition of Hawk Talk. I'm Coulter Hickok, and I'm joined here by a brand new guest, so please introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what do you do here at DSU?
All right, so my name is Galen Brantly. I'm from Soldotna, Alaska, and I am a tight end on the football team, and I throw for the track team, and I am majoring in biology.
Well, Galen, thank you very much for coming on. I know you've had a very not super long career, but it's very, very impactful here at DSU, whether you're going from the football field right into the track field. But I want to talk to you. How did you originally come to DSU?
So originally, my senior year of football, I had a coach. His name's Phil Leck. He was our defensive coordinator, and he asked my dad permission to send my highlight reel to Coach Stanton because my dad is actually a Valley City alum.
Gross, but
yeah. So so my dad was like, "Yeah, I don't care." And then Coach Stanton started recruiting me, and I came down and visit, and I fell in love with the place, and that's kind of how I ended up here.
I don't want to say you started it, but as soon as we signed you, there have just been more and more Alaska kids coming to DSU. Have you noticed that?
Yep. I mean, I love it here. I guess I just keep bringing people back with me when I go back for Christmas or summer, and I just keep bringing people back with me.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of meeting all you guys, but I got to ask you, you want to give us a little bit of a recap of the season for indoor so far?
So for indoor, we've had 2 meets so far, so we're just still at the beginning of it. Indoor is a pretty short season. I think we have this weekend, and then we have 2 meets left before conference, I believe. I mean, the indoor is really a short season. The first meet I threw pretty well. We've had 3 meets so far. So we've had the Mary meet, and I threw okay there. And then we had the Black Hills meet, which me and Jaden, the other thrower, we went 1-2 in that meet. And then this last weekend we were at UND.
I did see a little controversy where Coach Stan, he was tweeting about all of the different events and how great you guys all did, but you were kind of clapping back. You're like, what about throws?
Oh, yeah. That was, me and Jane thought it was funny because that was probably our best weekend scoring-wise, so we were like, hey, what the heck? You know?
So, I mean, Coach Stan, you got to know better, man. And Jaden Hawley, we've had him on the show before, so, I mean, I'm glad to have there are definitely more throwers at DSU, or is it just you two?
So, guys-wise, we have, it's me, Jaden Hawley, Brian Steger, and Scotty, I don't know. Woodruff, yeah. Scotty actually broke his foot in practice, so he's kind of out for the indoor season. And then we have 3 freshman girls.
I know Molly Farspeed's one of them.
Mm-hmm. Molly, Kiana, let's see, I don't remember her last name.
Close enough. We'll look it up later. But you are very busy from fall to winter with your schedule. So going right into football, or right from football into track, do you have any rest at all?
I think they gave me a week, but I still lifted throughout that week, so not really, no.
I mean, there's a lot of 2-sport athletes that go right from football and track, but I mean, you being a tight end and lifting as much as you do, like trying to be a fake tight end as a lineman or vice versa, but yeah, I don't think you guys get any break at all. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we try to lift through the season. I know a lot of the other football guys who are doing track are lifting with the track team and doing a little bit lighter lifting, but because throwing is so it's like strength is so important. We still lift with the football team throughout the year.
So Galen, since your first time on Hawk Talk, we do ask fun questions around here.
All right.
So I got to ask you, do you have any pre-meet traditions?
Not really. I mean, I just show up and throw. I guess I don't really have a lot of traditions.
Not even music or anything?
No, I just whatever I'm feeling that day, I guess.
All right. Well, then we ask another one. If you could bring anything back to North Dakota from Alaska, like anything that you find you can't find in the States or in the lower 48, what are you bringing back?
Those two things I'd probably bring back. The first thing I do bring back with me is salmon, but I always run out of it. I can never bring enough back.
Just a little quick plane ride away, might as well.
Yeah. And the other thing I'd bring back is my dog. I'd bring him back with me too. But my mom loves him. She's not going to let him, so.
Perfect. Do you consider track a team sport or more of an individual sport? Because there's a little controversy between there.
See, that's a little question because your event is individual, and you know everything that you get out of track is all individual improvements. But like going to meets, it's team. So you know, once you're individual when you're in an event, and then the rest of the track, you're walking around cheering on your teammates.
I gotta ask another fun question. I just thought of it. Is there any particular track movie that's like the quintessential track movie? Because I really can't think of any, unless you possibly know any.
I can't think of the track movie. I can't think of one, honestly.
One just came to mind, Fat Albert. Believe it or not, that was honestly a track movie.
Maybe Prefontaine.
Okay.
That's a good track movie.
Yeah. What's the Jesse Owens movie?
I'm not sure if I've even seen it.
It's Race. It's called Race. It's a great movie. It's about Jesse Owens and him being black and competing in the Olympics by the Nazis.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Good movie. That's a different one besides Fat Albert I thought of. Anyway, back to the indoor conference. You guys have your conference meet coming up. How are you guys getting prepared for that?
Throwing wise, we're just working on technique, just trying to get as many throws as we can in before that week. One thing that I'm working on is trying to get myself qualified for nationals before conference. Like last year in outdoor season, I qualified the last week of the season during the conference meet, so I'd like to get that out of the way before our last meet of the year.
Absolutely. Then how is it going from football practice having Coach Steve Cook to then going to track practice and having Coach Steve Cook?
You know, I can't complain. I love Coach Cook. He's a good dude. He works his butt off, so it's good to have him around.
Also has been on Hawk Talk before I started hosting, so it's great to have.
Just following in his footsteps.
I guess so. You can hold this over him now, saying you had a better interview than him. But he had some longer hair. I don't know if you've ever seen Coach Cook with his long hair, but it's very funny.
I'll have to find a picture.
My redshirt freshman year was his senior year, so I remember long-haired Steve.
Oh, nice.
Good times. So, lastly, Galen, we ask everybody who comes on this show, what does DSU mean to you?
DSU. I see a lot of people answer with family, and I would have to say the same. It's the family here. But for me, I think it's a little bit different. A lot of people don't know because I'm from Alaska, but my grandma actually went to DSU and she got her teaching degree here. So I have like a personal family connection here. Also, next year my sister's also coming here, so there's a lot of like close family at DSU. And also, I've made a lot of friends here that are lifelong friends that that I consider family, and so I think family is definitely what I what I value most at DSU.
Wow, I mean that's a great answer. I mean, I didn't really know that about your grandma, but That's super awesome to hear about. And I just want to thank you for coming on the show. And I want to say good luck to you guys this weekend.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back right after this with an on-campus interview.
And welcome to our on-campus interview. As you can tell, I'm Coulter Hickok, not Kiera Schneider this week, as I'm joined by kind of a frequent flyer. I mean, you've been on for Blue Hawk Game Day, but please introduce yourself again. Who are you, where are you from, and what do you do here at DSU?
I'm Brendan Johnson. I'm a third year here at DSU, and I am on the cheer team as well as involved in the TR program.
Talk about your journey to DSU. Like, how did you originally come here?
Hometown. I'm from Dickinson, graduated from DHS, and kind of just wanted to stay close to home. Good tuition cost and everything, so.
I mean, you can make that an ad right there as well if you wanted to, Ron and Trace. So how was the recruiting process? Like, I know football teams, they've got the film. How did you get recruited to be on the cheer team?
So I originally wasn't going to come here for the cheer team. I was just going to come to school here, and I had participated in like a dance and flipping thing at DHS with Coach CB Snyder. So she somehow talked me into coming to an open gym. And then I found myself down in the signing room trapped in by a bunch of girls in my grade, and then I eventually ended up signing so I could leave.
And the rest is history after that.
Yeah, pretty much.
How have you seen the program really change from last year to this year? I mean, last year being your first competition season, this year, how have you seen the 2 years kind of interchange, I guess?
This year, I think I see a lot more of a family dynamic. I mean, there's always going to be the hard work, the weightlifting, and all of that, but this year I really feel like our team is a lot closer than it has been in the past.
Very cool. So we do fun questions around here. We didn't really ask any fun questions on Blue Hawk Game Day, but I gotta ask, do you have any like pre-meet traditions?
Not necessarily. We get together before going out, we pray, and then we do our break, whatever the break is for the year. So.
Now, Kiera had said you guys have a secret one, like for post meets. Is that something that you can't say right now, or is that super classified just for the cheer team?
We're gonna keep that just for the cheer team.
All right, I can respect it. Fans at home can respect it too. Also, another fun question. Sometimes we ask the different sports if they can do an impression of their coach. Now, I don't know if you really want to do it, but could you either do an impression of Coach Seby or Coach Dacotah?
We compete tomorrow, so I'm going to keep that to myself so I can still compete tomorrow.
How about an impression of Kiera?
Go team!
I mean, she's right behind the camera, so she's a little. Her face kind of turned a little red. It was a little funny. So, you guys' first competition of this year is this weekend in Yankton, South Dakota. How are the nerves right now?
Not nearly as bad as last year. I think we're ready. We had the showcase last night. I'm feeling pretty solid, and I'm ready to get to competing.
So, you guys did have canceled meets. Was that just because of COVID, or I mean, you guys were supposed to start last week? Am I correct?
Yeah. I don't really know exactly what happened. I was really excited to get going last week, but that just gave us another week to concentrate and finish our routine and make sure we were hitting solid.
Heck yeah. And can you give us like any hints of what is going to be in the next routine, or is that all secret? And you can watch it on the DSU Blue Hawk site if you get the opportunity, but is there something that's really secret that we're not supposed to know about quite yet?
No, just pay attention. I'm sure all of our meets will be live broadcasted, so you can tune in and just come find out for yourself.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys check out the DSU Blue Hawk site. But Brendan, I got to ask you one last question. We ask everybody who comes on Hawk Talk, what does DSU mean to you?
You know, it means a lot more than I thought it was going to mean. I thought I was coming here just for school, but I've met some really great people, grown with a lot of families, and ended up being a cheerleader, which I guess I don't regret at all. So it's a good time here at DSU.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Well, Brendan, thank you very much for coming on. It's been a lot of fun. And you can catch me back in the studio right after this.
So, Mike, what is your best or favorite memory from being a student at Dickinson State University?
From being a student at Dickinson, probably getting to know a lot of the old basketball players then, the Bob Waldalls, the Don Blevins. They were a little bit ahead of me. I got to watch them play. They were tremendous athletes, but they always came back and helped us high school kids out. And they took the time to do that, so it was just like a big family at that time.
That's really cool. Thank you. So, Mike, my next question for you, my last one. What does DSU mean to you?
DSU means a lot to me. It's so important in this community that we'd hate to see anything happen. My brother, who just passed away, got very active with it. We both got the honorary letterman about 3 years ago, and that was very inspiring. And so we do a lot with it. We get to know a lot of the athletic teams and the people there, and of course we know all the coaches, and we get to go golfing with them and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just a big family, so it's a fantastic experience.
thank you so much for letting me interview you. And this doesn't have to be on the books, but you've clearly done a lot for Dickinson. You've done a lot for Dickinson State. You're staying active, and you're an important person in the community. And I don't think school would be the same without you. So thank you for everything you've done.
It definitely would, but yeah, we sure have fun.
And welcome back for the recap. We had a lot going on this weekend, so let's get right into it. Basketball, the Hawks went to Mayville on Friday and then presentation on Saturday. Both men's and women's unfortunately lost against Mayville. Men's 60-53 and the women's 63-60. Hopefully that doesn't really change anything for the conference standing, because if we are the top 4 of our conference, then we get a home playoff game, which is really excited for. On Saturday, though, we both get wins at presentation. The men 90-74 and the women 83-54. We next play at home tomorrow and on Saturday against Viterbo on Friday, Waldorf on Saturday. Make sure you guys either watch that on Consolidated Channel 18 or go to Scott Gym and watch it for yourself. It'll be a really great game. Cheer finally in competition season. We're really hoping for Kiera and the rest of the Blue Hawk cheer team to do really great things. They headed to Mount Marty, or they headed to Yankton, South Dakota to compete against Mount Marty and Northwestern. If you want to, you can look at the links at the DSU Blue Hawk site to watch those. Wrestling, they had the Tyler Plummer Classic over the weekend. I couldn't find any team scores on that, but maybe you might have better luck on the DSU Blue Hawk site. They will next be at the Sioux City Open in Sioux City, Iowa. Then we just had talked to Galen. Both men's and women's track team took 6th of 8 on Grand Forks last week. Martin Farver and Elise Jennings, they were named the NSAA, or North Star Athletic Association, Track Athletes of the Week, and they will be next headed to Fargo this weekend for the Bison Open. If you don't follow us on our social media, what the heck is wrong with you? You can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter at DSU Foundation on Instagram, at DSU Heritage Fund on Twitter. Thank you to the sponsors, fans, Ron, Trace, you guys are great. And thank you from Hillary, myself, Kiera, and Gunner. But until next week, Hawks are up.